I seek to learn and share with you my own journey and path of learning and understanding on the level I am. The interpretation and views are my own. The Prophet, on Death by Kahlil Gibran and Al-Mitra spoke, saying, "We would ask now of death. And he said, you would know the secret of death. But how shall you find it unless you seek it in the heart of life? The owl whose night-bound eyes are blind unto the day cannot unveil the mystery of light. If you would indeed behold the spirit of death, open your heart wide unto the body of life. For life and death are one, even as the river and the sea are one. In the depth of your hopes and desires lies your silent knowledge of the beyond, and like seeds dreaming beneath the snow your heart dreams of spring. Trust the drams, for in them is hidden the gate to eternity. Your fear of death is but the trembling of the shepherd when he stands before the king whose hand is to be laid upon him in honor. Is the shepherd not joyful beneath his trembling, that he shall wear the mark of the king? Yet is he not more mindful of his trembling? For what is it to die but stand naked in the wind and to melt into the sun? And what is it to cease breathing, but to free the breath from its restless tides, that it may rise and expand and seek God unencumbered? Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you indeed sing. And when you have reached the mountaintop, then you shall begin to climb. And when the earth shall claim your limbs, then shall you truly dance." This chapter, on death, is a quiet crescendo in the Prophet, not a grim conclusion, but a luminous unveiling. Gibran invites us to look not at death as an end, but as a mirror, a companion, and a continuation. Let us enter it together. Philosophical and psychological analysis. On death you would know the secret of death. But how shall you find it unless you seek it in the heart of life? The greatest illusion, Gibran says, is our separation of life and death. Death is not the opposite of life, it is folded within it. As breath is folded in silence. As the sea holds the river. It's not the end of the river, but its expansion. Death is not a closing, it is a widening. This mirrors existentialist philosophy. Søren Kierkegaard and Martin Heidegger both claim that one must confront death honestly to truly live. It is by acknowledging death that we find authenticity. And in Jungian psychology, death is a metaphor for transformation, of ego into self, of limitation into wholeness. The seeds beneath the snow, in the depth of your hopes and desires lies your silent knowledge of the beyond, and like seeds dreaming beneath the snow your heart dreams of spring. This is not just poetic. It's profoundly archetypal. Death is not destruction. It is the underground stage, a gestation. Reflect for a moment, how many times have you died in your life already? Lost a role, a relationship, an identity? And yet, from the winter of those moments, spring did return. Gibran reminds us that our soul remembers eternity, even if our mind forgets. Your longing, your dreams, your fears, they already know. The shepherd before the king. Your fear of death is but the trembling of the shepherd before the king. Is he not joyful beneath his trembling? This image speaks deeply. We fear death not because it is a punishment, but because it is so vast, so mysterious. It strips us of ego, of control, of illusion. That trembling, Gibran says, is not weakness, it is awe. Philosophically, this is close to what Rudolf Otto called the numinous, that which is both terrifying and beautiful. It overwhelms us because it is divine. Melting into the sun, what is it to die but to stand naked in the wind and to melt into the sun? Here death is not decay, but liberation. Not loss, but a return to the source. There is something breathtakingly peaceful in this image. It's a letting go of form, of weight, of grasping. From a spiritual psychological perspective, this is ego surrender, the dissolving of the false self into the greater self, or the divine. You don't vanish. You merge. And perhaps, this is what you've been seeking all along, how to live more freely, how to let go of the weight that keeps you from dancing. Death teaches us how to do that now. Reflection space. Have you felt seasons in your life where something ended, and you feared it, but later saw it was grace in disguise? What if your fear of death was actually a sign of how deeply you value life? How might you begin to live with the stillness of the mountain and the song of the river, knowing they are one? Closing insight. Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you indeed sing. And when the earth shall claim your limbs, then shall you truly dance. Death is not silence, it is the song beyond noise. It is not darkness, it is the light so bright that form cannot contain it. The dance of death is not macabre, it is ecstatic. And every moment you live fully now, honestly, vulnerably, bravely, you practice that dance. Thank you for sharing in my journey.